agency Thank you very much, Al-Fadil Ustad, for the doa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and International, Universiti Utama Malaysia, to deliver his welcoming address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih saudara pengacara majlis. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Malaysia Madani, salam segulai sejalai. Selamat pagi. InsyaAllah saya mohon izin untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggeris untuk memudahkan perjalanan majlis kita pada pagi ini. Respectfully, Yang Berhormat Fadhlina Sidek, the Minister of Education Malaysia, and also the presenter of the 5th Distinguished Lecture Series on Youth Wellbeing, Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Fadhlina Abdullah, Director Institute for Social Science Studies, IPSAS UPM, Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Abdul Aziz Bergaut, the Dean, International Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization, Sidek, IIUM, yang dihormati Encik Khairul Arifin Munir, Senior Manager Institut Darul Ihsan, IDE, juga Tuan Zainal, pengurusan daripada Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia, Management and Senior Staff of UPM, Deans, Directors, Lecturers, Students, the government agencies representatives, embassies representatives, notable guests, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, all praise to Allah SWT and to the Holy Prophet Muhammad SAW. I would like to extend my utmost gratitude to Allah SWT for allowing us to be here together in this special event. On behalf of our Vice-Chancellor, Datuk Professor Dr. Ahmad Farhan Muhammad Sadullah, I would like to wish a warmest welcome to our distinguished guests, participants, and everyone to the 5th Distinguished Lecture Series on Youth Wellbeing. I am humbled and honored to be given the opportunity to be here and to give this welcoming note. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the organizing committee, Institute for Social Science Studies, and Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization, Sidek IIUM, as well as Institute Darul Ihsan, IDE, for their initiatives and efforts in organizing such an important lecture in the context of our country's youth development and well-being. Without your commitment and hard work, this lecture series will not be a success. I would also like to extend my gratitude to everyone who participated in this event physically and virtually. Yang Berhormat Minister, ladies and gentlemen, UPM has and will always champion the importance of youth well-being for nation building. This championing started from 1976 through the work of two significant people by the name of Azimi Hamzah and Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. One retired as a professor of youth and development, and another one retired as a prime minister. They worked together as a researcher and government officer, passionate about youth well-being, and that was a very significant history for youth well-being in Malaysia. Malaysia has moved from having a youth and sports department to a youth and sports ministry, while UPM has moved from offering a Commonwealth Youth Diploma academic program to having a faculty that is Faculty of Educational Studies and a research institute, that is Institute for Social Science Studies, doing research and teaching in the field of youth development and youth studies, right from diploma level to bachelor, master's, and PhD. Youth are partners of nation building. It is undeniable. This has been our mantra for years, but in order to become significant partners, our youth need the support, the education, the love and care, and also the opportunity to unleash their potentials. As scholars and researchers in the field of youth well-being, we at UPM, together with our partners at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Malaysia Youth Council, all youth and community NGOs have together continuously put our effort to improve the youth development ecosystem in Malaysia and beyond. We consistently revised our national youth policy as well as practices to ensure that we really give the best to our youth. We started with our first National Youth Development Policy back in 1997, where we see the birth of the Rakan Muda program, as to name one, and then we revised the policy in 2015, where we reduced the youth age from 15 to 30, which is aimed at nurturing the right age group, not just in accordance with the international parity, but also to do justice with what we discover in our empirical research and teaching of youth and development. Wellbeing Minister, ladies and gentlemen, positive youth development has always been our focus in UPM and in Malaysia. Positive youth development recognizes our youth potential to grow as responsible and wise individuals. And in positive youth development, we see youth development not from the deficit problematic point of departure, but from a potential gem that earns discovery, help, love, nurturing, and polishing. Our scholars in the West, like McCain, Zeldin, and Heffernan, introduced this concept of youth and adult partnership, where youth-adult partnership shifts power and control from resting solely in the hands of adults to being equally shared by youth and adults. It means shifting from treating youth like objects to seeing youth as partners and resources. But in reality, youth development does not start from vacuum. So in Malaysia, inshallah, we go beyond, and we would like to introduce this concept of youth-adult-child synergy, where youth development and well-being requires the consistent synergy and positive relationship among the three generations to complete the giving and receiving cycle throughout our lives, to educate and be educated, to love and to be loved, to care and to be cared, so on and so forth. Thus, today's distinguished lecture by our Honorable Minister, which relates to empathy and compassion, is very significant, true, and in line with our hope for a better youth-adult-child synergy. These two elements, empathy and compassion, need to be nurtured at an early age. And at the policy-making level, we have to remember that youth well-being is not just about Ministry of Youth and Sports, but also the Ministry of Women and Community Development, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, and the list goes on and on with all our stakeholders, partners, start from the family up to society and the whole civilization, our Madani civilization, inshallah. So the strong connection of empathy and compassion is the powerful source for positive youth development and constructive youth well-being. Wellbeing Minister, ladies and gentlemen, we are entrusted as the Caliph of today's world and the hereafter. I know the YB suka perkataan hereafter. And nurturing youth well-being is one of the responsibilities to chart the road to Jannah, inshallah. Royal and national figures have previously been invited to give their lectures in this distinguished lecture series on youth well-being. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed by having Duli Yang Teramat Mulia Tengku Amir Shah Ibni Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah Al-Hajj, the Raja Muda of Selangor, as our first speaker, followed by Professor Tan Sri Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Director of IIUM, then with YB Hanayo, Minister of Youth and Sports Malaysia, and then Prof. Emerita Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, the Ibn Sina Chairholder of IIUM Faculty of Medicine. And today, inshallah, we are honored to have YB Fadhlina Sidek, our Minister of Education, to deliver the 5th Distinguished Lecture Series on Youth Wellbeing entitled Cultivating Empathy and Compassion Through Education. Before I introduce our speaker for today, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate and thanks everyone who are involved in making this event a success. Congratulations to the organizing committee and to all participants for making this lecture a significant event to be remembered and to act upon for the betterment of not only our youth well-being and our youth-adult-child synergy, but ultimately our national and global well-being, inshallah. Now, I would humbly like to introduce our esteemed guest for today, YB Fadhlina Sidek, the presenter of the 5th Distinguished Lecture Series on Youth Wellbeing. Ms. Fadhlina Sidek was named Malaysia's Minister of Education in December 2022, becoming the first woman to hold the position. Since November 2022, she has been the Member of Parliament for Nibung Tebal, Pulau Pinang. Nibung Tebal, okay. Nibung Tebal, Pulau Pinang. In addition, she was a former member of the Dewan Negara of the 14th Malaysia Parliament and Woman Chief of the People's Justice Party since July 2022. Prior to entering politics, Ms. Fadhlina performed as an activist and attorney specializing in Islamic family law and child welfare. Ms. Fadhlina is actively engaged in community development and human rights, such as the gender identity disorder issue, children's rights and access to education, child sexual misconducts, the Muslim illegitimate child status, child protection advocacy, and as the head of Read and Play project, which is book assistance for B40 children during the movement control order. She holds a Master of Law from the National University of Malaysia, a Diploma in Judicial Administration and Islamic Law from the same university, and a Bachelor of Law and Sharia from the International Islamic University of Malaysia. Born in 1977 in Petaling Jaya, YB is married to Muhammad Fadli bin Arsad and a mother of 6 children. But before we proceed with the lecture, I present to you the 5th Distinguished Lecture Series video montage. Please. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that we have been waiting for, the lecture by our special guest speaker. Please welcome Yang Berhormat Fadhlina Sidek, Minister of Education, to deliver her speech. YB, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wabihi nasta'in. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahil karim. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina. Wa bi Muhammadin nabiyya wa rasulah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan salam sejahtera dan salam Malaysia Madani. Terima kasih saudara pengurusi majlis yang berbahagia, sahabat saya, Profesor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International UPM, yang berbahagia sahabat baik saya, tadi sahabat ni sahabat baik saya, yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Fadhlina Abdullah, Director Institute for Social Science Studies IPSAS UPM, yang berbahagia, yang ni rakan alumni saya, ya, yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Abdul Aziz Berhormat, Dean International Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization, Sidek IIUM, Saudara Khairul Arifin Munir, ini kawan bergaduh saya, Senior Manager Institute Darul Ihsan, Management and Senior Staff of UPM, Deans, Directors and Lecturers, Government Agencies Representative, Embassies Representative, notable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, let me read a short and sweet poem on empathy. Let me hold the door for you. I may have never walked in your shoes, but I can see your souls are worn, your strength is torn under the weight of a story I have never lived before. Let me hold the door for you. After all you've walked through, it's the least I can do. Empathy. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your generous invitation to this prestigious event organized by the Institute for Social Science Studies of University Putra Malaysia and ISTEC as part of the Distinguished Lecture Series on Youth Wellbeing with today's topic, Cultivating Empathy and Compassion Through Education. I was an activist for 20 years before I was forced to join politics. So one of my biggest passion during the 20 years was focusing on mental health with, of course, my dear friend, Dr. Fadhlina. Education has a pathway for empathy and good values with the aim of imparting a humane education for our next generation. This has been our ministry focus right now, humane education, which translated in Malay would be Pendidikan manusiawi. So what does this mean and how is this to be approached? Let me attempt to convey my thoughts and what the Ministry of Education is trying to achieve and what it has already succeeded in implementing. Ladies and gentlemen, the traditional approach to education has been one of memorization, repetition, and regurgitation of facts from the classroom to the exam hall. How many students we have here today? Good, okay. This for a long time was considered enough in that students were considered to have been educated sufficiently if they were able to carry through with these simple memorization exercises. But education is not the filling of a cup, it is the lighting of a fire. I remember during my 5th year of my study in IIUM, that was during the degree for Sharia, LLB in Sharia. So we have like 8 subjects, all in Arabics, and all I can do, or the best thing I can do during that time was to memorize all the kitab. So don't ask me anything about Arabic, because the thing, that time, we always do, ataupun kita memang, orang kata pandang dinding hafal. Itu ketika itulah. So that's why I said the traditional approach is in education has been one of memorization and repetition. As we have seen with events in recent months that appear to be fractures in our society along racial and religious lines. While in part this may be due to certain parties playing up such sentiments, my role as the Education Minister is to ensure that mindset and critical thinking skills of the next generation of Malaysians are developed to the point that they are able to think for themselves and not be easily swayed by such rhetoric. Personally, I was really disturbed and concerned over the wave of extremism, radicalism, the culture of takfiri, especially among the Muslims in our country. And I have a big responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, to protect my children in schools with the approach of moderation, unity, love, and respect. Prof. Sarjit is here. So Prof. Sarjit will always text me if there's any issues pertaining to extremism or any issues pertaining to racial crisis in our country. So Prof. Sarjit is not being empathy to me because he always texts, reminding me to be very cautious, to be very careful to handle all these issues. Another person who is not really empathy with me is Dr. Fadhlina, of course. Yeah? So it is crucial that our education system goes beyond mere facts and figures, memorization, and exams. This is not how a human being grows and matures. Our education system is already recognized as having succeeded in this regard. What we must pursue is the inculcation of values such as empathy and compassion in our future generation. In my perspective, social and emotional skills are critical for a well-rounded education. Developing social and emotional abilities includes instilling empathy and compassion. They improve academic achievement and well-being and must be explicitly taught using a well-designed curriculum with well-sequenced and targeted activities. Perhaps we are currently in the process of developing the new curriculum for 2027, and this element will be seriously incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, the age of change. The year 2024 is notable because it saw the many implications and consequences of global transformations. The global current trend that develops in the post-normal times nuance mark 3 C's: contradiction, complexity, and chaos, which are present simultaneously in the rising rate of speed and skill that contracts allows the emergence of the phenomenon of vincible ignorance, a symptom that will lead to creative destruction. Yeah? Therefore, adaptable attitude toward change is a necessity of the present, as well as the ability of critical appraisal to screen the impacts of changes in this paradoxical era. Nothing is definite in the future in this fast-paced world of constant change, except the change itself. At this point, our most essential responsibility now is to prepare ourselves for a new period by raising a strong, skilled, resilient, and competent generation. As a result, we must be adaptable to changing circumstances. The advancement of digital technology, which is driving a new wave of socio-economic change, must be pursued, accepted, and mastered. The emergence of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, the explosion of artificial intelligence, AI, and the sophistication of digital transformation enable a wide range of changes that occurred quickly and rapidly. It is necessary that we optimally enhance the capabilities and agility of the pursuit and embrace of change. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That has been said by futurist Alvin Toffler. I repeat, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So as it happens in the 21st century, the intelligent can also be illiterate. Thus, it is imperative that individuals be sensitive to change, particularly in communities that struggle with the paradigm of change and are committed to changing both the nation and its people. Ladies and gentlemen, essence of education, the actualization of human dignity or karamah insaniyah. Actually, Prof. Ismi, I like the word karamah insaniyah, not the hereafter. Okay. Imposing the educational agenda is not just and solely focused on the aspect of academic performance and excellence, nor the infrastructure and facilities of educational institution. It should be looked at and treated in a comprehensive manner and cover its entire wide horizon. The aspect of humane dimension should be a priority in education. After all, we always emphasize on this, that no child is left behind, as well as it takes a village to raise a child. Therefore, the role of education as continuous efforts towards expanding the potential of the individual as a whole and integrated, as revealed in the national education philosophy, should be emphasized. This is the most critical part of being, or the most critical part in education, how actually we should defend the national education policy at all times, because the penetration of the continuous effort towards expanding the potential of the individual as a whole and integrated has been emphasized in this philosophy. The fact is, education is about man. The general definition of education, as formulated by Professor Syed Muhammad Nakib Al-Atas, is a process of instilling something into human being. Obviously, the very term education is a specific term for humans. Man is the best creature of God's creation. Every human being is born in a state of nature, which is marked by the glory that God has given. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam. Indeed, we glorify the children of Adam. Surah Al-Isra, ayat 70. In another ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated that لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ السَّافِلِينَ. Indeed, we created humans in the best form, but we will reduce them to the lowest of the low. So we have this category of ahsan taqwim and the lowest of the low, asfala safilin. John Locke, a 17th century European philosopher, in his writing entitled Two Treatises of Government, asserts that it is evident that all human beings, as creatures belonging to the same species and rank, and born indiscriminately with all the same natural advantages and faculties, are equal among themselves. They have no relationship of subordination or subjection unless God. Human dignity must be respected and protected, and education should be a vehicle that continues to be steadfast and consistent in respecting and protecting human dignity. Education is about the formation of cognition and character. Dalam bahasa Melayu, in Malay we say otak dan watak. The formation of cognition and character, pembinaan, pengukuhan otak dan watak. Academic excellence and personality virtue, which include the development of knowledge, character formation, the purification of manners and morals, as well as strengthening of integrity. That's why we've been emphasizing on the character education throughout the education system. Ladies and gentlemen, Abraham Lincoln once said, character is like a tree and reputation is like its shadow. Character is the real thing. It is the essence of who we are. His metaphor of a tree reminds us that teaching our children time-honored principles can help them stay grounded and rooted so that they can stand tall and live with integrity when winds of challenge blow. Realize it or not, the development of knowledge, the formation of manners and morals, as well as the strengthening of the integrity that we are trying to apply among our children will not be achieved if we ourselves, as educational leaders and educators, do not succeed in cultivating the development of our own cognition and character. This is the biggest challenge for all of us here. This is where the word teladan, in Malay, or good example, or qudwah hasanah, should be visible in the society. We have this peribahasa as well, melentur buluh biarlah dari rebungnya, or the Finnish proverb once said, a tree is climbed from its base. Education also is about interaction, the interconnection of relationships between people. It is for this reason that is our belief that the highest station or the highest state or the highest maqam in education is love. Education is all about love, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot do any reform in education without love. If we ask the young people or the younger generation here, the symbol is, what is this symbol for? They will know. I don't think, Prof, you know about this one. Sometimes the old people, they have problem to use this symbol, but not this symbol. This one is for money. Okay. Now, the difference between men and other beings is the gift of reason, which is a sign of human superiority over his other creations. The human akal, so is to include the element of ratio and also at once intellectus. As in general understanding, akal plays a role in thinking, understanding things, processing information, and interpreting it, and this is the ratio side of akal. Nevertheless, on the intellectual side, the intellectual plays a role in reflecting on the aspects of feelings, emotions, and spirituality. Thus, education not only sharpens the akal fikiran, but also sharpens human akal budi. Just now we had otak and watak. The same thing goes with the faculty of the akal. We have akal fikiran and akal budi. Professor Said Ali Ashraf, a scholar and educator, stated that education is the act of channeling compassion. Indeed, the legacy of past Islamic studies highlight this feature. There is a hadith which is held by the student of Islamic knowledge. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ar-rahimuna yarhamuhum ar-rahmanu yarhamu man fil ard yarhamukum man fis sama. And another one is man la yarham la yurham. The merciful will be shown mercy by the most merciful. Be merciful to those on the earth, and the one in the heavens will have mercy upon you. Obviously, education is a holistic process that assists humans in meeting their intellectual needs, the cognitive aspect, and perfecting their psychological, emotional will, affective aspect, as well as increasing their physical potential, the psychomotor aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, empathy and compassion, basic understanding. Empathy involves sharing and understanding the feelings of others, but it doesn't necessarily mean sharing the same experiences. It's more about being able to recognize and connect with the emotions someone else is experiencing, even if you haven't been in their exact situation. This reflects in the poem that I've read just now. Now, Simon Sinek, in his book, Leaders Eat Last, stated that empathy is not something we offer to our customers or employees from 9 to 5. Empathy is a second by second, minute by minute service that we owe to everyone if we want to call ourselves a leader. So it's not something within the duration of your work or duration of certain times, but empathy is second by second, minute by minute that we offer to our people. Empathy allows individuals to engage with others on an emotional level, showing understanding and support, which can strengthen relationships and foster a sense of connection and community. Compassion, on the other hand, goes beyond just understanding and involves a desire to alleviate the suffering of others. It's about feeling concern for others' well-being and being motivated to take action to help them. Empathy and compassion involve connecting with others on an emotional level and responding with understanding, care, and support. Cultivating empathy and compassion through education means teaching individuals to understand and share the feelings of others and to develop a deep concern for their well-being. It involves incorporating lessons, activities, and experiences that encourage perspective-taking, kindness, and understanding of diverse perspective. This approach aims to foster a more compassionate and empathetic society. With the definitions empathy and compassion out of the way, let us now discuss the importance of integrating these values in our approach towards education. These come together as part of the concept of humane education, again, Pendidikan Manusiawi, that aims to cultivate compassion and respect for living beings, something that we in Malaysia, a country that prides itself on its diversity, cannot do without. Cultivating empathy and compassion through education is crucial for the development of our youth and education. And education provides a structured platform to teach young people about the importance of understanding others' perspective, empathizing with their experiences, and taking compassionate action to make a positive difference in the world. This is a very strong message to the youth out there that they will lead the next generation and they have to make a positive difference in the world. In service of this, there are 5 key outcomes that we seek. Number 1, promoting awareness. Number 2, teaching empathy skills. Number 3, modeling behavior. Number 4, encouraging service learning. And finally, fostering social and emotional learning. Promoting awareness. Education raises awareness about different social issues, cultural diversity, and the experiences of marginalized groups. By learning about these topics, young people develop a broader understanding of the world and are more likely to empathize with others who may be facing challenges or discrimination. Teaching empathy skills, educational programs can incorporate curriculum elements focused on empathy development. These may include activities such as perspective-taking exercises, discussions about empathy in literature or history, and role-playing scenarios to practice empathetic responses to various situations. Modeling behavior. Educators and adults in educational settings serve as role models for young people. By demonstrating empathy and compassion in their interactions with students and each other, they create a supportive environment that encourages these qualities in youth. And that's why, professors, we need to stay young, okay? So that the youth can see, the youth can actually see their role models, not just being young at heart, tapi juga betul-betul memaknai dan menterjemahkan bagaimana kita benar-benar saling mendukung dalam untuk memberikan dan menterjemahkan qualities of the youth. Number 4, encouraging service learning. Education can integrate service learning opportunities that allow students to apply their empathy and compassion in real-world contexts. Engaging in community service projects or volunteer work not only benefits others, but also reinforces the values of empathy, compassion, and social responsibility. Fostering social and emotional learning, many educational initiatives now focus on social and emotional learning, which includes skills like self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Teaching these skills alongside academic subjects can help students develop empathy, compassion, and resilience, which are essential for their overall well-being and success in life. Ladies and gentlemen, integrating empathy and compassion into education program is crucial for fostering a more empathetic and compassionate society. By integrating empathy and compassion to education, we can empower young people to become empathetic and compassionate individuals who are better equipped to navigate the complexities of the world and contribute positively to the society. Sometimes at the end of the day, we just need a good people, a kind-hearted people in the society. Kan? On this, I would like to emphasize 5 key thrusts on why society should embrace these qualities in educational initiative, namely, number 1, promoting social cohesion, number 2, reducing conflict and bullying, 3, building stronger relationships, 4, fostering civic engagement, and 5, preparing for the future. Firstly, promoting social cohesion. Empathy and compassion help bridge divides and foster understanding between individuals from diverse backgrounds. By teaching these values in schools, we can promote social cohesion and create a more inclusive society where everyone feels valued and respected. You see, we have this kind of problem. When there's a national crisis, national tragedy, which involve discrimination or racial issues, the one who would be blamed is always Ministry of Education. Well, I took the blame, no problem, but this is where we should have more inclusive ecosystem, more powerful message that should be delivered to the society. Yeah? Because we have only schools that we can entertain, or we actually can penetrate all this nilai-nilai murni and all that. But, yeah, yang di luar sana, the outside, luar pagar sekolah itu, yeah, that is the concern that always been reminded, especially by Professor Sarjit. This is how we actually must come together and fill the gap, especially on how we actually need to address these issues collectively, yeah, in the most harmonious way. Sometimes this is the wild card for every election, yeah, the racial issues that only comes once in a year, every time there's an election. So this is what we actually must put our stand, that kena tolak, ya, kena tolak perangai buruk ini, kena tolak semua perkara-perkara yang akan memberikan kesan kepada masyarakat, khususnya yang mengganggu semangat, ya, setia kawan kita begitu lama. Secondly, reducing conflict and bullying. Empathetic individuals are less likely to engage in aggressive or harmful behaviors towards others. By cultivating empathy and compassion in schools, we can help reduce instances of bullying, conflict and violence, creating safer and more supportive learning environments for all students. Thirdly, building stronger relationships. Empathy is essential for building strong, meaningful relationship based on understanding and mutual respect. By teaching empathy and communication skills in schools, we can empower young people to form healthier interpersonal connections and navigate conflicts constructively. Fourthly, fostering civic engagement. This is what I really need from all of you today. Compassionate individuals are more likely to engage in acts of kindness and service towards others. By instilling values of empathy and compassion in education, we can inspire young people to become active citizens who contribute positively to their communities and advocate for social justice and equality. That's why I think it's very important for all the students, I hope there are students leaders here as well, to make sure that your activism during your studies are well managed by issues that you are going to focus on your next level as a leader in your community or in your organization. So please pick wisely your activism. And I think education is the best activism so far, because you can actually manage to see the hindrance, the actual life of our people by doing some activism, especially in education. As for the fifth and final trust, preparing for the future in an increasingly interconnected world, empathy and compassion are valuable skill for navigating complex social, cultural, and global issues. By prioritizing these qualities in education, we can equip future generations with the tools they need to address challenges collaboratively and work towards a more just and compassionate world. Overall, integrating empathy and compassion into education programs not only benefits individuals, but also contribute to the creation of a more compassionate and empathetic society. By prioritizing these values in schools, we can foster a culture of kindness, empathy, and understanding in all aspects of our communities and institutions. We have this tradition that our nenek moyang, our ancestors, always remind us this. Dia ada dalam bahasanya, kita sentiasa berpesan, jangan main waktu maghrib, nanti hantu. Percaya kan? At that time, we really, believe that, when we play around during the dark time, the ghost will come and take us away. Jangan makan tulang ikan, banyak pesanan, pesanan-pesanan yang kalau orang bercakap kat depan, jangan bercakap kat belakang, jangan tidur, kan? Banyak pesanan-pesanan yang diberikan, maknanya budaya pesan ini, this culture of, reminding the good things, saying good things, is already embedded in our society. Dan kita kena sentiasa memastikan supaya budaya-budaya ini digerakkan. That's why we are focusing now on another campaign, a big campaign insyaAllah. Cakap elok-elok, tulis baik-baik. Sometimes it's quite challenging to actually doing the good things compared to do the bad things. This is the greatest challenge in our society now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madani epoch. When our Prime Minister unveiled his concept for good governance, Malaysia Madani, some had asked if this would ultimately be just another slogan, and what, if any, the impact of this concept would be. 1.5 years since being formed, this administration has indeed solidified the concept and made it into a substantial and significant nation-building exercise. It is well known and well understood that Islam is a religion of great compassion, and in line with this, we introduced and expanded Imam al-Nawawi's 40 Hadith appreciation module aimed at forming good character and values among students, in addition to fostering a love and understanding of the religion among Muslim students, while subsequently producing a generation of children who are good and intelligent. So some of us might already memorize half of the 40 Hadith. And my favorite hadith is always, Prof, ad-dinu nasihah. That is the best I think, a message to the people, ad-dinu nasihah. But Madani is for all, yeah? And naturally, we have widened our scope to ensure that these good values are not learned and practiced in a vacuum. The ministry is committed to improving the quality, equality, and access of education for all students, and no student should be marginalized in the country's education system. As I have said before, and as I will continue to stress, quality education belongs to all, regardless of race, religion, or politics. Like it or not, that this is a fact, and we are proud to lead by example. So Ministry of Education, we are proud to lead by example that quality education is for all. There's one famous phrase by Confucius, if I'm not mistaken, "You chao wu lei." Yeah? Any Chinese speaking here? Or you want to confirm my pronunciation is correct or not? "You chao wu lei," correct? Huh? This is an example where there should be no discrimination in education. Yeah, and Malaysia is a multiracial and multi-religious society with a place for everyone, aligned with our values as outlined in our constitution, history, and tradition. Therefore, our focus in humane education is ensuring access and preventing any more children from falling behind in their education. Not only do we consider our regular students, but we have also spared no effort to help the underprivileged, the special needs students, and indeed others who have come seeking refuge in our peaceful country in our plans. We have not neglected even some troubled youth, such as those in integrity schools and Henry Gunning schools, also have access to education, even while in correctional facilities and undergoing rehabilitation. We also have Sekolah Bimbingan Jalan Kasih for undocumented and stateless children. We have Sekolah Dalam Hospital for those who are not really fit to go to regular schools. We have schools in our hospitals as well. What is the use of discipline and harsh treatment if you lose sight of the underlying problem that these students need the right approach, the empathy and compassion to keep them on the path of securing their future through education that will prepare them for the challenge of life and will break the vicious cycle they are in danger of being trapped in. Compassion and empathy are especially important now, more so than at any other point in history. As technology advances rapidly, there is an emphasis on data, skills, and programming. Of course, all this is important, and indeed is driving humanity forward. But what will be the use of any of these is we merely create a generation of robots, that is to say, human beings who lack feeling towards others. While technical skills are needed, what we at the ministry aim to do is to impart the above-mentioned qualities and values, and I believe that this can be done without losing sight of what makes us not only human beings, but indeed good and worthy human beings. To quote the thinker and philosopher Malik bin Nabi, the human group acquires the quality of society when it starts moving. That is to say, when it begins changing itself in order to achieve its goals. This event, in the historical perspective, with the moment when civilizational emerged. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. To sum up today's lecture, let us reflect on what we aim to achieve and how we plan to do it. Empathy and compassion must be integrated into our concept of a humane education that will enable us to build a stronger and more harmonious society. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, izinkan saya barangkali menutup dengan bahasa yang barangkali saya selesa untuk menutupnya dalam ruang yang ada sedikit ini. tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita boleh membaca beribu laporan. Kita boleh lihat dan mengambil iktibar dan pedoman daripada pelbagai manusia, kepakaran. Tetapi akhirnya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, yang akan menentukan kita ini, akan menentukan kita ini menjadi manusia ataupun tidak adalah proses itu tadi. Sebab itu, kalaulah saya ini seorang menteri yang mempunyai kilang, katakanlah saya tidak punya sekolah tapi saya ada kilang. Saya nak murid pandai, saya cetak saja murid pandai keluar semula 10A. Kalaulah saya nak murid semuanya kaki sukan, semua pandai main sukan, saya boleh cetak di kilang tersebut. Tetapi pendidikan bukan soal mencetak manusia melalui perkilangan, tetapi ialah proses memanusiakan manusia. Atas sebab itu juga, kerana itulah, saya fikir syarahan ini penting apabila ia menyentuh satu aspek yang sangat penting, the youth well-being. Dan hari ini kita membicarakan soal compassion dan empathy. Dua tonggak kepada daya juang anak-anak kita dalam pendidikan yang akan menghasilkan manusia ini. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, terima kasih di atas perhatian semua. I hope that I can stay long for this session, but I'm really sorry that I really have to go. I will take two questions. I'll dictate the majlis now. I'll take two own questions. An easy question, because this is a very important part. The difficult question will be answered by our professors. So I think we just proceed. Maybe Dr. Aini Azika, you want to join me on the stage?
Yeah, joining Dr. Azika, please,
yes, please.
on stage to moderate the question and answer session.
Thank you. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berhormat, please take the seat at the stage.
Never mind, I'll just stay here. I'll just stand for the question because the difficult part, Dr. Aini will answer.
Oh my God. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, especially to our YB Fadhlina, the Minister of Education, and also all respected guests and audience. So actually, I just want to wrap up, but then since YB is in a very quick mood, all right, but then what I can say is that to wrap up quickly, it's actually very hard to wrap up because when it comes to YB Fad, the activists, IPSAS, they're talking about Hadith Al-Quran, all the Imam Nawawi and all that. And then what I've been teaching my students, because I have a psychology background, I've been teaching on the Carl Rogers, Freud, the Darwinism and all. So in my mind, I just can wrap up on the Darwinism, which is the survival of the fittest, those that fit, that can survive, okay? But in order to fit, that's what the YB mentioned just now on the creative destruction, all right? Destruction here means that's why the iPhone, we can see that, after iPhone 14, you have iPhone 15 because they really need to survive, all right? So I don't want to make it long. So as what YB mentioned just now, if you have any question from the audience, I believe it's not just a list of questions, but a bucket of questions for YB this morning. Okay, yes, our youngsters here.
Not necessarily questions, maybe some ideas to the Ministry of Education that I can, actually give some thought on that. Okay, all right, please.
Yeah.
You can ask in Bahasa too, no problem. Okay, all right.
Assalamualaikum, YB.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Ahmad Ali from IIUM. I'm studying at IIUM.
Huh?
I'm studying in IIUM right now.
What year?
Second year.
Second year. What course are you in? Which faculty are you in?
Majoring political science and minoring in law.
Wow, you should be in this position now. The political side. No, it's okay.
Okay. So I like how you mentioned about education should not be about being a factory to produce or manufacture students or printing students, because I've read recently, and I'm sure you're well aware about it, the recent reports about the Malaysian education being criticized for not being competent or as competent as the
Have you read the report?
Vietnam. I haven't read the full report, that's the thing.
Okay, you should read the whole report together with the Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia.
Yes,
Okay,
insyaAllah.
to be fair
Yeah, yeah.
to Ministry of Education.
What I'm trying to say right now is I'm not criticizing the Ministry of Education.
No,
I'm
it's okay.
saying is that I don't like how people are perceiving it by just reading the news title. They're saying that
Thank you.
this is the
You have that empathy toward us. Thank you so much. Give him a clap.
because everyone is saying that this is not saying everyone, but people I've read even from my friends, youth themselves, they're saying that this means that the school should be improved in a way that increase study time, classes times or something, or remove certain things and add certain things. But for me, this goes beyond the institution.
Yeah.
When it comes to literacy, not just literacy, but education and development of the human being. And I'm also asking if the Ministry of Education has any input on this. We should go beyond the schools or even the universities, but onto the families who should be building the students or the humans since they were a child. I guess it's a bit easy for me to say this because I actually never went to school. My first education institution is IUM. I was homeschooled since I was young, and my parents did not teach me using a proper, we didn't have really even have
But
a
to have a
schedule.
homeschooling, your parents must be get permission from the Ministry of Education. So you have to thank Ministry of Education for giving that special permission for your homeschooling.
Yeah, but so alhamdulillah.
Okay.
But that's the thing. For what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to development of human being, it's not necessarily our mind scope is too limited on syllabus or curriculums and all of this. Even when you're talking about co-curriculum, it's oftentimes limited within the co-curriculum offered by the school, rather than beyond the school, what you can explore on your own. So how does the Ministry of Education incorporate the elements of the family institution into the development of children, so that parents will see that they also play a role and not just blame the teacher for their children, but actually they have a role into it themselves.
Thank you, young man. Salam to your parents. They've raised you very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tani.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think, there are some points that has been highlighted by the young man. And let me put some perspective on the World Bank report, especially on the criticism on various parts of the Ministry of Education. I think, number one, we have to be very careful when it comes to managing the issues that have been highlighted. To be fair, the move, what we call the agenda reformasi pendidikan has been started quite early before the report. So we've been setting up some important task force, especially to actually look into the matters. And this reform has been announced quite early, actually last year and early this year to begin with. Number two, we are very committed to our Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia. The soft landing would be in 2025, and every year we produce and we publish our annual report. And this annual report should be read together with the World Bank report. There are some success stories that we would really want to share with you. Yes, maybe some hiccups, but it doesn't mean that we are, being so defensive or we did not acknowledge the fact that we are having problems. Yeah? Tapi kita kena jujur. The effort continues. The reform agenda must be our main priority. Yeah? Sebab itu saya fikir penting untuk kita sama-sama lihat secara keseluruhan. Number two, it's very important juga untuk semua pihak. Yeah? I would like to call upon all the institutions, all the civil society, the academicians especially, to come forward and help us in the Ministry of Education. I always tell my officers that we need this jalur ketiga. Yeah? Jalur ketiga means the third force to come in and actually help us with the education. After all, education is for all. So this is everybody's, maknanya semua pihak adalah stakeholders. Everybody is our stakeholders. The parents, the grandparents, the community, the PIBG, the PIBKS. So please come forward and help us, whatever you can do. Number 3 is keciciran. This is the most highlighted issue that been highlighted by the report as well. I would like to ensure you that we've been taking some progress and measures as well to actually address the issue. Number 1, and it's likely we made some progress, and we are now actually looking forward to having a more progressive action with the announcement of the intervention for the curriculum, the current curriculum, not the new curriculum, 2027. So after 3 months, kita buka sekolah hari itu bulan March, So March, we open the school during March. So after 3 months, the first, maknanya budak tahun 1, after 3 months in schools, there will be some assessment for their keciciran. So kita akan buat itu secara lebih progresif, dan ia harus berlaku dengan segera. Saya tidak nafikan, ia mesti berlaku dengan segera, dan sebab itulah komitmen kita ketika ini adalah fokus kepada, we have 6 or 7 special task force to handle all this reformation ataupun reformasi agenda pendidikan ini. Number 1 is for STEM, number 2 is for TVET, number 3 is for digital, number 4 on Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Inggeris, number 5 for preschool, and then apa lagi Cik Zainal? And another one is for the curriculum, 6 or 7, ada 6 atau 7. So this is a very important task force that will lead all these issues. And for the preschool, actually, this is where we actually want to everybody to be on the same page with us, especially on early education. So preschool is very important. There's no currently there's no law or any dasar to force or to actually make it compulsory for the preschool students to be at school. But we are looking at it, dan peluasan telah pun kita buat di semua sekolah dan peringkat institusi KPM to ensure that all the preschool students to go in schools, to have an early education seawal mungkin. So please come forward and please come to our office and we can have a very good discussion on this. I presume that, to be fair, please read the World Bank report together with the Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan so that you can actually get the whole idea on what we are doing and what we are very committed to and what we are actually planning to do, especially with this coming, the new curriculum 2027. Next question, please.
Okay.
Wow, got so many hands.
Okay,
there.
hopefully we can take these 2 questions. Right.
Can I have the girl there, lady there?
All right.
Okay, sure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Saya Damia Fariza, wakil daripada Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar MPP.
Oh, yang semua perempuan tu kan?
Ada
lelaki.
antara kami ada lelaki.
Tapi majoriti perempuan.
Ya.
Okay.
Saya
Kita boleh tukarlah Universiti Puteri Malaysia. Gurau, jangan. Okey, teruskan.
saya tak berhajat untuk bertanya soalan.
Oh, okey.
Tapi YB, kita pernah berjumpa di majlis berbuka puasa di Farm Fresh dan YB minta kami untuk brainstorm berkenaan women empowerment dengan memperkasakan bacaan dalam kalangan kanak-kanak, dan di sini saya dah sediakan 2 handout untuk saya beri idea kepada YB.
Bagi kemudianlah handout cerita yang nak kongsi je. Apa dia punya gist of the cadangan tu?
Okey, untuk cadangan pertama berkenaan memperkasakan bacaan dalam kalangan kanak-kanak, di mana slide ni dibuat dengan tajuk Jom Baca Komik. Sebab saya tahu kanak-kanak lebih tertarik dengan animasi, dengan penceritaan yang berasaskan banyak genre. Jadi yang kedua berkenaan memperkasakan wanita, di mana kita tahu sekarang banyak kes wanita mati di tangan suami. Jadi
Anda semua adalah suspek.
maafkan saya. Okey,
Teruskan.
ya,
Pandangan yang
sekarang
baik.
ni kita tengah tahu banyak hot issue kan. Okey. Jadi pemerkasaan wanita ni melibatkan ceramah dan juga martial art yang diajar kepada wanita.
Martial art yang diajar. You are so gone, brothers. Okay. Alright.
Okey, saya rasa itu saja daripada kami.
Thank you. The questions are very interesting point of view. Number one is regarding the culture of reading among the children and how they're going to help us with the project and program to cultivate reading habit among the youngsters. And secondly, on women empowerment. Well, to be honest, actually, I really miss the 20 years of activism, especially on women's empowerment and doing all the talks about women empowerment and hak wanita and all that. I miss my courts actually, yeah. I miss my baju hitam putih, baju tak cicak orang panggil. But that's 20 years has been passed. Okay, now the issue of how you can help us actually on the issues of cultivating the reading habit. This is a very good program that should be cultivated in the society as well. So I think, yeah, I would say yes to the program and we would like to support you on that. Thank you. Number two, on the women empowerment, I think this is where actually we've been very concerned about the safety of women in Malaysia. You know, the term that she used, mati di tangan suami, it's not something that really, I mean, the term is actually femicide, yeah? So there's no guarantee, there's no safety, there's no actually how we can actually ensure the safety of women even in her own house. Yes, the data showed that the case that the femicide has been increasing lately, and we need more society that really concern empathy and have compassionate towards our women. I have a very personal experience with some of these women who actually died in their husband's hand, and I had the chance before to meet them before the tragedy. So what happened actually is that the ecosystem around this lady is not sufficient enough. Number one, the psychosocial aspect. This is the very important part that we should embrace and think on how we should help the ecosystem. So when we talk about the well-being of a person, the well-being of a person is all about her or his safety as well. Yeah, tidak ada tempat untuk mengadu, tidak ada ekosistem yang memberikan dia peluang untuk disokong dalam apa jua dia membuat keputusan. You know, we have this, we call it the permissive society. Yeah, this should be something that we should ponder upon. The permissive society is when a society being so permissive, including when it comes to fasad, yeah, fasad ataupun zalim, yeah. Kita nampak orang pukul bini tepi jalan, tak apalah, itu hal laki bini, ya. Kita nampak orang pukul anak kecil, ya, pukul dan gunakan perkataan yang kesat, using the bad words against their children. It's okay, it's their family, don't bother with them. Yeah, so the permissive society ni, this is something that we should look upon, and how we actually can change from a permissive society to a society that really cares about each other. So this is another good program by all of you, especially the young ladies, and I will totally support on this. So please submit your paperwork as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, YB, sorry, but I think that's the time that you already have, because you have a big event after this, right?
Yes.
So for a quick sum up, I think that back to our topic on cultivating empathy and compassion through education, YB has highlighted in her talk just now, all right, on actually you keep on mentioning on the social emotional learning. That's the thing that we really need to look up into, as what picking up Prof. Ismi mentioned on the youth adult-child synergy. Actually, for the social emotional, it also comes up with the school, family, and community partnership. So, and actually worldwide they already introduced the SEL from
SEL,
the
yes.
preschool, right? So considering that 24% of the preschool are under the Ministry of Education, so probably we can, empower with the empathy and compassion starting from the preschool, because currently in Malaysia what I can see is that most of the private preschool that have this. So,
since we have 10,000 schools, Prof. Ismi, overall 10,000 schools, 5 million students, UPM should take half of it. With this one, With this one.
Okay, so I believe that's all for the Q&A session, and thank you again to YB.
Thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, and I will pass the floor back to our MC.